If you want to see your own videos on the Geek Loot Gaming YouTube channel, please go to the link in the description to submit your own video and possibly become part of the network we're trying to create here on YouTube. Join the community by going to tiny.cc/geeklootgaming and submit your form. Hey everybody, Taylor Not That Swift here with another gaming PC build video, this time at a $400 price point, so let's get into the parts so you can start gaming. For the CPU, I chose the AMD Athlon X4 860K. It's a 3.7 GHz processor and it's a quad-core, and some tech enthusiasts might be wondering why I picked the 860K over the newly released Carrizo CPU, the X4 845. Well, main reason is the 860K is an unlocked processor, meaning you can overclock it, meanwhile the 845 isn't. So you're stuck at the 3.5 GHz-ish base clock I think the 845 has. Meanwhile with the 860K you can easily overclock it with something like a Hyper 212 Evo, which is what I've included in this build as well. Not to mention an X4 860K overclocked to 4.5 GHz, let's say, will outperform the X4 845 in every single task, no question. So like I said, the CPU cooler is the Hyper 212 Evo. It's tried and true, not really gonna discuss any more about it. It's $25, one of the best CPU coolers for the price possible, and the 860K you could probably get to around 4.5 GHz on this cooler, probably very easily. For the motherboard I chose the ASRock FM2 A88M Pro 3 Plus Micro ATX board, but it has the A88X chip, which means it's easier to overclock Athlon CPUs. Not to mention, only $52.38 from Newegg. It has 4 RAM slots and can support up to 2400 MHz speed, with maximum RAM support being 64 GB. So, pretty good board for FM2 Plus. It can support a lot of RAM, can support a lot of RAM sticks, and it can overclock our CPU pretty easily. For the RAM, I chose the Team Dark 8GB single stick, 1600 MHz speed RAM, $28, nothing really more to talk about. If you want, you can upgrade to 16GB in the future by just adding another stick, and if you want, you could just have a 16GB RAM build right now, just costs you an extra $28. RAM prices are really cheap right now, so if you want, I'm not gonna blame you. For storage, I just have a single hard drive, no SSD, because at $400, putting in an SSD means you're kind of only going to get an SSD. You're not going to get any of that mass bulk storage that you can get with a hard drive. So I figured having a lot of storage is more important than having like almost none but really fast storage. So I think speed doesn't matter as much as size, ladies. So I chose the Seagate Barracuda 1TB, 3.5-inch drive, 7200 RPM. Pretty classic drive. It's either this or the WD Caviar Blue for 1TB capacities at a cheap price. Right now it's $46, so it's the cheapest one, so go for that. You'll get pretty consistent speeds. I have the 2TB variant of this drive, and I get around 165, 180 megabytes per second write speeds, probably even faster read speeds, so this thing is pretty fast. For the video card, I chose the GeForce GTX 950. Now this thing is probably the meat and potatoes of the build because it's going to be powering all your games, it's going to be powering your video out to your monitor. So you're going to want something that can actually chug through your games, and the GTX 950 is basically just a cut down version of the 960. It has 2GB of VRAM, so you shouldn't encounter many problems at 1080p. But if you do, you're just going to have to lower your settings. At $400, you're not going to be able to crank every game up to Ultra. But this 950 is a really good graphics card for the price. Actually, one of the best graphics card deals I've seen for only $130, because this thing will outperform the GTX 750 Ti and probably even the R9 270X at $130. It's pretty crazy how powerful this GPU is. For the case, I just chose something simple, nothing crazy, the Raid Max Vortex. It's an ATX mid-tower case, so even though we have a micro ATX motherboard, you'll have a bit more room in there for cables and stuff. It's $23. Might be made out of cheap plastic, not sure, but it's a case. It's just going to house your components. It's not going to do much else. And it doesn't look half bad either, at least from the pictures from Newegg. So it looks pretty good. $23. Pick it up if you want. And for the final component, we have the EVGA 430W 80 Plus certified PSU. it's not crazy quality. I'm just going to say that up front. However, it is only $21, and it's a lot better than an in-case power supply that just comes bundled with the chassis. So, it's not great, okay? It's not that great, but it will power your components, and it's a lot better than any pre-built power supply you could get. So, will it power your components just fine? Almost certainly, yes. Not to mention, this build's max peak wattage is only 284 watts, so 430 watts gonna be good enough for even overclocking your graphics card and CPU, so that's why I included the aftermarket CPU cooler so that you could do that. Plus, this GeForce GTX 950 has a nice cooler on it, so you probably could overclock it a little bit if you wanted. Anyhow, that's my build. Tell me what you think in the comments below. How good do you think I did with the price and juggling performance? If you want, you can leave your own parts list below in the description for what you think would be a better build at $400. If you want, leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more PC videos as well as gaming videos. Thanks for watching.